Eche we share somewhere there yakodu headquarters me check Kelvin Taylor or say yanton man non so no asam no wasom say twe somewhere there wa be responded to Honorable Alexander Afenyo Makin after say Honorable Alexander Afenyo Makin ebe allege say Sammy Gyamfi artist or CEO Edema Gold Board in fact we di o mine sika ma somewhere there sika we di no billions of cedis artist enya sam ketwa no kompo kai say Sammy Gyamfi ever responded to Alexander Afenyo Makin but somewhere there Kelvin Taylor said there be respond now Sammy Gyamfi the man no enye nti we die omonjan ekono emma no na afin so no akasa on dealing with Alexander Afenyo Makin ebusia SMP na ekoso yenti ensem ni bi.
So when you want to change something you need to understand say a cost need to happen and that cost is not a loss. And then Sammy Gyamfi in the Bank of Ghana explaining IMF for catch Ghana for say for Ghana to bring in gold board, for gold board to make a difference, we need a cost. It comes with a cost. It comes with technology. It comes with, so the gold buying, Bank of Ghana giving gold board money to go into the system. It's not just going to work in the system and buying gold. You need to make sure, say, nobody can steal gold from Ghana. You need to make sure that the smuggling stops. You need to make sure that every gold that you are buying is legitimately mined. You need to make sure the system, people are doing the right thing. It comes at a cost. Why didn't PMMC do it? Because they didn't have the mind. And so because you say, gold board Alboka 1.7 billion. Sammy Gyamfi said, no, that was a cost. It's administrative cost. Meaning, you would need that to get to the $15 billion. And there's nowhere that anybody can sit, any economist can sit and say, gold board has made losses. Gold board made 15 billion. Let's say, gold board, Sasika must say 1.7 billion. Any 15 billion. How did we arrive at 15 billion? It is because of the cost we put in there. So when you are recording the books, Ghana, gold board aboka 1.7 billion. The fact of the case is it was a cost. And until from the beginning, gold board catcher said this is an administrative cost. Because before you can get the 15 billion, you cannot just say it. You just have to make sure you put things in place. Into who in your right senses, one in Nimnyansa because say gold board aboka. Today, the Black Stars of Ghana, we want to win the African Cup of Nations. How are we going to do it? The GFA needs to commit to a coach that is expensive, experienced. When that coach comes, he might want a backroom staff. We need to pay. That coach might come and say, you know something, the turf that we are using, we don't have any stadium in Ghana, our pitch in here, papa, we need to put him. That thing we do is a cost. It's a cost because we want to arrive at a point. Now, when we are not able to arrive at a point, then you can tell me it's a loss. But the cost should be able to propel you to win the African Cup of Nations. Into coach the Nations Cup. Now, after all this cost we put into it, pay him so much money, giving him a backroom staff money, build it, not say winning Nations Cup. Not Sasika spending war, making sure he wins the Nations Cup is 6 million. Now the Nations Cup near winning $10 million. Near to call a World Cup near winning $30 million. Will you call that cost as a loss? No. Into the MPP are struggling between loss and cost. And then Momoka say IMF say by gold board aboka the gold board has not messed up any money. Because you can't say introduce the gold board. That just said yeah. Now PMMC or say you want a gold board here. Why is gold board doing something different? Because the things they are doing, it is geared towards something positive. In the end, Sammy Gyamfi bet market say I've brought in over $15 billion. Not everybody can bring it in. Why? Because at a cost, we've been able to achieve this. At a cost, you will achieve what you want to achieve. Unless it's over catch them say Sammy Gyamfi $300,000 spent by and the cost 1.7. That I can record as a loss. But as we speak, the cost at the end of the day has achieved 15 billion. So why do you say it's a cost? It's a loss. It's not a loss. But on say MPP for Jimmy. The MPP are stupid. They be telling us on Jimmy, social media for, radio for. They are stupid to the point they don't understand the basics. But these are things that you want to do politics. In terms and the Sammy Gyamfi buyer or bet it's not about the law, so it's about Sammy Gyamfi muadie. I don't know, Kasa Chap can kwasi paying sa. Now can so on kwasia or a lawmaker or nimnyansa. The kind of words he used in his press conference, go you see. The MPP is stupid. Jimmy. So there's no loss here. It was a cost that needed to be able to get to the point where we wanted to get to. And the gold board umbrella, 15 billion and over, because of that cost we put in. And from day one, administrative cost can never be a loss. When the administrative cost is not less than what? The outcome, it is never a loss. Now, the administrative cost is less than the end game, what they got as a result. The administrative cost, if even it is 1.7 billion, then through that administrative cost, we have 15 billion. So where is the loss? It's a simple question. And Debiano, we went on a break. I was watching, listening to people. And you can see there are so many people on TV, radio, Jimmy, they don't know what they are talking about. Even the statement from the IMF report, it was clearly telling Ghana for say, you know what, to achieve this, it needs to come at a cost. And that is where we are. And it's also 1.7 billion against 15 billion as the end product. Why do you call 1.7 billion a loss? Because let's say $15 billion, yanti 1.7 billion from is still profit. So say gold board catcher will say, I'm gonna make it profit. Echo ya kwasia, oche wuni mnyansa, echo di ba umiechi ono honye economics papa. And Abeka say gold board has made a loss. That jandam is not working. The idea of the MPP, Afenyo Makin say, Ombetuma to be biagun from him. Kwasia bia beka bibia ni enyire di echire. It doesn't work like that. Go back and take your time, analyze the situation. Into the Sammy Gyamfi kano. That is it. He has made profit. Let's give it to you people. Sammy Gyamfi and Bank of Ghana, at the end of the day, the market they were in the market they went into to buy the gold, they made a loss of 1.7 billion. Now they made a profit of 15 billion. Now take 1.7 billion from 15 billion. You can't tell me a loss is in here. So they are struggling to differentiate between loss and cost. What they did, in fact, if I could get the team, I wish I could. Team, I wish I could bring a document, but every good thing comes with a cost. And as far as at the end of the day, the end result is greater than the cost, there's no loss. Anything IMF could not explicitly say gold board and our Bank of Ghana make a loss. No, because they wanted to get to a point. And then the explanation of that one, example, you buy a car for 100,000 Ghana cedis and spend 10,000 maintaining it. The 10,000 is the cost. See explanation. When you buy a car for 100,000 Ghana, now with the 10,000 and maintaining car, it is a cost. Now, if you later sell the car for 70,000, you have a 30,000 loss on the purchase. Now you understand. So what they did, what the Bank of Ghana, Emma Sammy Gyamfi at a cost, if they can get enough gold, it comes at a cost. If they can get enough revenue from the money, Bank of Ghana, it comes at a cost. That cost, you cannot say it's a loss. Anytime we're bringing it down all the way to a Black Stars level. Anytime we're bringing it down all the way to Manchester City level. Into Manchester City by the Arab money. The Arab money that came, basically they put somewhere a bit to me, I yielded that result. Intende, one of the biggest clubs in the world, over Manchester City. I didn't know Uncle Bolton. But the issue is because people cannot, MPP, you cannot mix costs with loss. You can't do that. You can never do that. And that is what they are forcing into the system. Where in the document and a church Sammy Gyamfi aboka, a Bank of Ghana maniska, or no government way. Bank of Ghana maniska, and they made sure that somebody with enough gold about it should come at a cost. How do you do that? If you're going to trace the gold, if you're going to employ, if you're going to make sure that you are sane and it is done legitimately, you're going to make sure people are not smuggling, it comes at a cost. So that administrative cost is not a loss. That is what actually yielded that end gamer, 15 billion and over. No? So get that right. And the kind of moment here, a Juma and this in Sammy Gyamfi are solid. Yeah, as far as the gold board is in existence, the MPP can never come to power. Oma try bibia and say no more AXA and omo jampo ba a petition. They don't know where to tackle because omo ba omiano wa bon na yiri di sledge chi. Dr. Sledge na to go now they can 97 million. Omo ba omia yire no o di sledge chi, but omia does not have brains to think. We need to get these things right. They know Baumia has no room in our politics. So Baumia in 2028, Oba as what? Is he coming as an economist? And when he was given the nod, what did he do as an economist? Is Baumia coming to tell us, say, our better plans to change gold board, Anna. Baumia Bekache say, onim economics to change, and yet the finance minister, Anna. Baumia Bekache say, Obefejuma way. These are people who have no aim. They are aimless. They are junkies. They are jokers. They don't know what to do again. And so they think, say, almost started Jandam, almost started in Mrebi. Oh, John Koto Hotel, oh, where you are, not that time, it's not going to work again. Jandam can never exist in our politics again. We are going to ask the questions. Oh, say, Sammy Gyamfi press conference review, you know, what's your argument? You know, they have moved from MP and Gold Board Aboka to Sammy Gyamfi Mwadi and Kwasia 4. Afenyo make Kwasia Penny, Odidi Jantra for we, or Kasa said, I agree a binigunenum. Or Kasa Monument to Kwasia Penny is a Kasa by heart. Now, Korana Yinanoa, or the Yan say Yinanoa must say, Akrani Mwadi. We want you people to prove exactly where Bank of Ghana making that 1.7 million billion loss. There's nowhere they could not show one document. And you see, Mama Ghana for what you say, as some the bar, Munya would say, MPP Jimmy, they're naturally foolish. They were born stupid. Their leadership is stupid. They don't have a plan. Afenyo Makin yamani nipa 187 o sedi on parliament. O momu nyina ko fie akabe 88. Onimu nyansa. As far as he's there, I'm happy because Afenyo Makin who a minority leader, the NDC will flourish. Because wait, Jimmy, it is about emotions, sentiments. Today he's working here. Arabak Tokonu will become a CJ. He does not know. It's all about his relationship, what he did with people behind the scenes. It is not about the collective good of the party. Now, MPP for Jimmy, they cannot differentiate between a leader and a sentimental fool. They don't get it. They don't understand it. The guy is emotionally attached to his stupid ego. He does not understand to say the politics we are doing today is different. He does not understand to say he's leading a group of monkeys who are supposed to reason like him. Until here, into Onyabe Bitna, talking about DCJ, Onyabe Bitna, you have power, Onyabe Bitna, where Korea way. As a member of parliament, somebody who is part of the legislature, you could not provide one document to back your statement. Are you stupid? And we are going to support the gold board. We are going to support Sammy Gyamfi. We are going to make sure, sir, Germany announced to a and the $1 the age 11, 10. No, that is what we will do. Upia berewa baby okowudi emfa me ho meka che John Mahama ne NDC for say moba dollar na was 17 about me record 17 months so baby edunu for 2 years almost 2 years we gina ho na mpe it was 10 11 enu tina me koto aba enu tina me ye dede say MPP for nkwasi afo free power me de baby am besuma berewa na koto no baby okowu na emfa me ho right now businesses obiasika is intact amount for capital is still there. We today this is what we saw. This is what we have in the system today. Today, Messiah, I not pick that one. A DDEP, this government or settle a car. This finance minister. We need to get serious. Omuni story biabi mamunti omo. Gold board, the internet gold board. Ebe protect your gold. Ebe making sure say, eyo mo me galam say, yebe streamline it. Obi antimi to galam say gold enyane. Yebe nya dollar. Yebe tuma to gold. Yeni anka sebe oni. Yebe ton. Ende eno na ekoso no. Inti ye de trying pay day. They trying any pay day. Inti ba omi aso oba power ba dey. We are asking a simple question. Mahmoud ba omi an MPP omo ba power ba dey. Omo be gold board. Na yenye sika wo hen ye dey support economy no. Omo power omo ba ye den ba omi ade na obeye mo bodam ye ni abre de tia no muni manka.
There's been a call for a parliamentary probe, and I've already stated on public record that I'm waiting with bated breath for Afenyo Makin's invitation. And I don't know why he's delaying and holding press conferences when, as minority leader, he can get the Public Accounts Committee to summon me tomorrow or today, and I will appear. I saw him dabbling in some confusion about standing orders of parliament and the fear that the majority may oppose a call for a probe into this matter. Well, I have, in all humility, reached out to the new majority leader in parliament, Honorable James Agaga, and I've pleaded with him that even if Afenyo delays in extending this invitation, he should extend the invitation to me. And I'm ready to come tomorrow. You don't need any special motion. You don't need any special order by the speaker. Just get Public Accounts Committee to invite us and come and sit down there and come and demonstrate to the whole nation where the gold board made losses or how the gold board is to blame for losses made by another institution. We are waiting for that. There's been a call for a parliamentary probe
into improved economic conditions for the Ghanaian people. Afenyo Makin's continuing antics, and I want you to listen to me very carefully here. Afenyo Makin's continuing antics must therefore be seen for what they are: a desperate smear campaign by persons who have specialized in sophistry and political blackmail in pursuit of selfish ends. These are devious extortionists who will come at you with lies to tarnish your reputation in the hope that you will fold and settle for what they call, quote, compulsory arbitration, and oil their palms. Well, this time around, they found their own target. The Ghanaian people deserve serious public discourse founded on facts, evidence, truth, and not endless recycling of falsehoods in the hope that repetition will lend them credibility and turn fiction to facts. Gold Board will remain focused on its mandate. We will continue to account transparently for our stewardship, and we will not be distracted from the important work of creating value for the Ghanaian people from the exploitation of the good resources of our
Management, ladies and gentlemen, is simply intended to address a number of baseless allegations and deliberate falsehoods concerning the operations and financial health of the Ghana Gold Board that have been propagated by certain individuals in recent times. Of particular concern is a persistent campaign of lies being waged by one Alexander Afenyo Makin and his ilk against the Gold Board over the past couple of months. This sustained, relentless campaign reached a reckless crescendo yesterday at a press conference addressed by him within the precincts of Parliament. Afenyo Makin's modus operandi, which can no longer be allowed to go unanswered, is to repeat the same tired falsehoods as often as possible and on many platforms as he can, in the hope that repetition will somehow transform fiction into facts and mislead unsuspecting members of the public. The Gold Board therefore deems it necessary that the record be set straight once and for all, to prevent him and others like him from continuing to distort the remarkable performance and transformational impact of the Ghana Gold Board.
Now we all know what Afenyo Makin stands for. He's a liar. Every liar is a thief. This is a man who slaps police officers. This is a man who deliberately disrespects the president by calling a woman who has been appointed by the president to take a petition from. This is a fool. This is a man who sent thugs to go after another man that he took his wife. His brother raped, trying to molest somebody's son. This is a man who called somebody in court, somebody fighting for the lives of his kids, to threaten them. This is a fool who sends his colleague from his law firm to adapt people's kids from their school. He's a filthy, dirty fool. Onimunyansa. This is somebody who stood in public trying to say that judges, our Supreme Court judges, without any evidence, said on national television that our Supreme Court judges ganged up, came together. This guy, who is a filthy lawyer, is not somebody to be trusted. Oh, yeah, Jimmy Four. He is doing everything possible to keep this position that he has failed in. He came to meet 130-something people in Parliament. Because of his foolishness and stupidity, they have all left Parliament. This is a guy who can never be a leader of a group. Consistently lies about everything, malign people and try to destroy their lives in the name of politics. We are not supposed to entertain Afenyo Makin and his foolishness. He proves nothing. He has no evidence. All that he does is spits around, stupidly protecting Tokon, who was found guilty of a crime. And what makes this guy an honorable fool for us to be entertaining in Parliament? We sit in Ghana. This young man, Sammy Gyamfi, responds to this fool, and the MPP are saying, oh, you talked back at Afenyo Makin, the idiot. But when he was speaking, why didn't you people question him? The guy has been a consistent fool who does not have any respect with him. Me a minority leader, a minority of 88 piglets. None of these people are able to sit this guy down to say, "Dear, you know, say party, no." Before you go out to speak, don't speak like Salakau. Have some evidence. You see, Patricia PJ, Mamia Brewa, Poso, Neto Jene, na akwara kitikiti Alberto na Trempena, Awunechi, Edinechima, O Jimmy, no evidence. In Penifua Danenquara, more than Jimmy for because of politics. We should swallow every nonsense. The LPP knows what's better for them. Until they change this dwarf, they can never win power. And the next 42 years is going to multiply to 60 years. And this is what we're talking about. We are talking about people who are not leaders. Where in this world now the team every first division, every premiership, akwa third division, na nkwasi afọ mo deep coach nechi. Akwa we di mo nim call elections na mo tumi, more power. Mo ye wiase bibia. This guy could not win power for you. More than who di Jimmy wechi. Every single day, screaming, backing, slapping policemen, going against the law, stupidly showing his ignorance at every corner that he finds himself. And you people think you are doing something different. You are doing nothing. The guy is a piece of crap. It's garbage. He does not understand his environment and how he needs to act. Into more mana more MPP, he is just using you for money. What he came to do against Sammy Gyamfi was to intimidate him and extort. That is what he does. It was to extort from him. It was to make him feel, say, you are doing something wrong, but there's nothing wrong. And that is his modus. He has been doing this for years. Let me attack him. Let him threaten him. So we are NPP, NDC appointee. Now we are Juma, no fool should scare you. You bet you what to mob bottom. Power sasa, power best. And that is his strategy. Otna aya ECG as a board chair. Obo kabu buro kwa champagne koso dem. Ghana Nyanka Nukrenta. Afenyo Makin, when he slapped a police officer, he was supposed to be jailed. Now, Attorney General, when I meant to say, this Attorney General has a problem. Afenyo Makin should be facing trial. And we sit in Ghana, Jimmy Bianyama to me, 87 piglets walking on the streets of Ghana, misbehaving and fooling themselves. Yachiwun to me, his actions has caused a lot of deaths. Nankwasi afwa motokan kind to us yantiasie, mo bodam, mo petumi, mo de yadeng. What do you need the power for? A day in a honorable woman. What makes you honorable people? Now, because Facebook don't put evidence, no kasa. Now, who will see a leader of 87 piglets? You have no evidence. How different are you from that person? And these are people who are not supposed to be addressed as honorable. Afenyo Makin is a bully. He's an extortionist. On Kanukre, that is what he has been doing in his political life. Then you are going to threaten somebody, he will go to jail. In the political life, nobody is going to fall for this. Obia wedi boni also go jail, no, he needs to go to jail. Power sesa ochirichia munchi obi antum kwasi asembe no. Now fighting the corruption here the same. Ye di mwatema mo say ye muade unimi age aka krebni me di 50 years. Kwasia unimi age unhwinim aka krebni me di 50 years. Otu ase Kelvin tell us mo boy na obra mo bobi. Mo bodam. A politician needs to respect himself. And so ambunu ho e be di natem and no fool can speak. Then obey. I am telling you, say, a politician will do it in with Jimmy. And that guy is a typical example of a fool. Now, a whole political party, you had this number in parliament. Akwa did you consensus leader ever seen there? Where you nipa almost over half of your party, almost lose elections. Now, when Jimmy did Akwa, hey leader, hey way, or hey, Jimmy, more to me. Football team third division for Krampo H and Yomu coach. Akwa odi manimu we Jimmy. Ya catch them. You consistently follow this fool. On fa bibia meka mo. It's just to scream. All that he does is he pulls his dick out and follow Tokonu and say Tokonu come to power. Tokonu come to power. Pissing himself off. Every day we're trying to quarter them. Tokonu come to power. You think Tokonu Ghana belongs to her? Tokonu, you didn't think Ghana belongs to her? And nobody can impose Tokonu on anyone in Ghana. Yes. Araba tokonu na koyere papa yemano no oso na pedo bi ozeb na watcho kwatene nam tokonu beba tokonu beba CJ tokonu. You think you are stupid in this country? What Tokonu deserves is what she's gotten. We are not going to entertain foolishness. Unya tumi ajeli obia, but today the law needs to apply. Whoever is found guilty needs to go inside. Mo bottom. After this short break, we will continue the show. We are going to kill another Jandam.
Beyond Galamsey, beyond the 24-hour economy, was the fight against corruption. And I hear the NDC easily and readily and quickly saying, there are no major scandals, Hey. NDC and you're my koso. And you're my koso. And if you are not careful, and the elections come as a motion for the president of today will be amazed of certain corruptible acts in this administration. In fact, the fight against corruption, because they are more weakened. The nolly prosecutor and some of the withdrawals. And some of the cow. So the fight against singular the fight against corruption
was a terrible move.
Sadia no mujina so muye no. And no crown it weakens your base.
A bull fruit so. Tana with radio CEO, because for me anyway. Crown kwa these two people. Bribe called Ghana Mujina. Actually, I'm appointee B position. No one says no honor tataron say in some cruise. As some can answer be in the womb. My president, man, yeah, a chrono coso, corruption coso. What is your job? What is your job? Oh, my men, papa, no, mutin gracia, I will say, O tinkan ye jumamono. What is your job? Now, what to I say, corruption coso, now, no, corruption, baby, what are you trying to create here? Impression men are creating. And a president, what is your job? Since I've we about power, and for you've not been able to bring one document. You know why? Because you have nothing. When there's nothing, you want to force something. Why do people want to force corruption? When there is nothing, you can bring anything. The issue is, if you want to say corruption, because what you saying, why will you say contract or on sorrow to so over tonight as a okasana or 2 years for follow the document and bring them and show to Ghana way. If you are saying corruption is cost, then you are involved. Because the corruption is cost, not one person can be a while. Now you're for mumienu. Then if you know that there's corruption going on and you cannot, as a journalist, also you're some troni, also you're some troni, oh dear, oh you're kwatibeka, sebio, oh no telepe, oh you're kwatibeka. Now what you man is saying, what when you say corruption is cost, what is your job? Why are you sitting in the studio and telling Ghana for President Mudi Bweko position? The question is, where is the corruption? You are sounding like you know where it is. Why don't you bring it out? Speculation. Journalism, where we are Ghana, speculation. Now, he went ahead to say, a year the nolly prosecutor, a ban will buy cases be with him. But the issue here is, if a case does not hold ground, why should the Attorney General go through the case? Go ahead with the case. The same thing I will say, the Attorney General, will discontinue cases. We are talking about how many people facing trial now. Until you are saying, the fight against corruption. The fight against corruption, this government is doing well. Because you know why? How many people are standing trial today? You are talking about cases they came to meet and did not continue. Now, how many people too are facing trial today? Oh, you are looking at only the right hand. Look at the left hand and do your assessment. Logically, you are not making any sense. The government came to power. They looked at some cases. They feel those cases, from the evidence deduced from it, it does not hold any power. They discontinue the case. This same government has over 70 people standing trial now. Some have even been there in the history of Ghana. 1 year jail in 25 years for Galam Seda. But you put now why on what tell a part two kwasiakika. Oh, because you want to create problems where there are no problems. You want to create an impression. Now, in Krana, what now? Obitias and Grigua, I try and say, what didn't no crab brand? Unim corruption and out to war, and oh, we only on ebo. Omo, I will say, Omia corrupt now. John Mahama Bedun Wulitano, oh, you're crom for Okomouska. Omu Yesika Mount. Omo Mousika show, and it's down to Minkano, into Unim so Yesika, but because they give you money, no, to Minka. Hey, corruption, also. Listen to this twerp. What it is radio so.
Beyond Galamsey, beyond the 24-hour economy, was yet the fight against corruption. And I hear the NDC easily and readily and quickly saying, there are no major scandals, Hey, and this in Pamuchoma Mamutimu, the one more Pamuntia, and you're my coso. And you're my kosu, and if you are not careful, and the elections come as a motion for the president of today will be amazed of certain corruptible acts in this administration. In fact, the fight against corruption, because they are more weakened. The nolly prosecutor and some of the withdrawals. And some of the cow. So the fight against corruption
was a terrible move.
Sadia no mujina so no. And no crown it weakens your base.
What kind of analysis or tell it to do? Analysis better than Zano. About power. Is this the first time a Attorney General filing nolly prosecutor in Ghana? Let's go back to Apachino time as Attorney General. Is it the first time in the history of Ghana Attorney General Biaba office a case they want to discontinue it? Is it the first time? But in the history of the Republic of Ghana, see that the fight against corruption, the NDC, they have done well. Because in the history of the Republic of Ghana, no Galamsey Kingpin has been jailed in the history of Ghana. See that 20 years. In the history of Ghana, this is the first time about 60 people are standing trial for different kinds of corruption. You sit there, now I want to tell a part to say, no, you are not making sense. Look at the thing with some reason. You are talking like corruption. Hey, NDC for corruption equals so. Now corruption, I don't know we because corruption equals so. The only one can want some on commit crime. Now to work say corruption, that means you are speculating. If you are not speculating, then you are involved. Omo mu wiase ka omo ma obi omo bo anu ntu na ntumi nka no ba onim say corruption ekoso omo mu wiase ka wa ban mu sa eye de eye CEOs amoko mo birthday parties ko mu fie no omo na mabom ano omo mu sika eni tira bu ntumi nka ntu betena ho corruption dey be koso because o ka ho but so won ka ho as a journalist who is legit in discussing issues, you will point out and show evidence. When I was exposing the NPP, I didn't come here to just speak. I showed you documentations. Why can't you do that? Because money say politicians and the chess cano and it's on to me cano. Because what stops you from exposing the corruption? Because that's your job. You are the gatekeeper. You are supposed to expose them. But you sit here and you speculate. If you are not speculating, if you are not taking money, tell us who is corrupt in this government. Edian kwasia journalism no. Corruption equals to who ni obi you form you mutumi ko appointees won kojiska. Mo ko appointees won kojiska de bia. Mo ko appointees won kojiska de bia. So you are scared to talk about them. Because some of you have contracts in this government. Who obi ni omahene. Mo ko appointees won kojiska. Someone said they're more legitimate. Why can't you mention? Because if somebody is stealing, why can't you do it with documentations to prove a point? To let Ghanaians know, say, Juma Oye, and yet because of Obi, na no kora person di uye or tell a part two. Obama say Alewa, or to talk a kankwasiasam. And this is the kind of journalism they have done for years. Speculative journalism. Speculative journalism. Yanki kansam, aban wasum kwado obi wiesika. That's fine. Where is your evidence? Aban wasum kwado obi wiesika. Where is your fucking evidence? Motete Ghana na nkwasiasam na mo sai man. Ye bia mic tuma or funche bia peso kasa. Tell me, because you are thieves, you are criminals, because you are taking money from appointees and ministers, because they are giving you money, you are scared to mention exactly who is involved in the corruption. Why should I be scared of a politician, an appointee who is involved in corruption? Why should I be scared? It is because you are thieves. We are before. So you are always speculating. Mo be some chenko for some munim na monka inwan munim na monka. They not stop from saying it.
Ejebusha and some media me ankasa me pesa me de mano beka because Kelvin Taylor sometimes na nsem ni bia ya oka no. Me akwala se me de mano koka and share na makoka asem bia che se enim. But whatever it is no, ye twen say Alexander Afenyo Makin so be ba abonten aba responding to Kelvin Taylor and I say bia obejani. Wait me leave you comment or comment section and say aha authentic press TV. Making sure so be like, subscribe and share. I'm a full be.